real quick, I want to let you know this video turned out longer than I'd intended. That's okay. I do it for me and I enjoy it. I had originally planned on staying here 2 nights. I only stayed 1 and didn't think I'd get much filming done, but ended up finding a lot of cool stuff. So sorry ahead of time for the length, if that's not your thing, but stick around. Hopefully there's something for you. I have a few shenanigans and do some goofy stuff and just enjoy the weather. So enjoy. Red Rock Canyon used to be State Park, now Adventure Park. It's privately owned now. Oklahoma had to sell it. It is absolutely beautiful. I am camping tonight alone in this canyon. As you can see around me, really beautiful. Over here are these beautiful canyon walls. This is a day use area, and up on the cliffs you can rappel off right there, so that's really cool. I'm getting camp set up. I do not know if I'm camping tomorrow night as well. It is supposed to rain all day tomorrow, so I'm going to wait and see how I feel. I certainly have the gear for it, and I have a tarp set up, as you can see behind me. Not the best, but it's an old tarp, and I figured I would have a space during the day outside of where my hammock is that I could sit and work on things if I need to out of the rain. It's actually more roomy than it looks. It's a 12-foot tarp. So I'm going to get camp set up. I'm going to get a fire going here soon because it is a little chilly, and let's have some fun. I was just on a trail and I found a group of men fighting, and turns out it's a fight club. So I got to watch. Now I did get there late, so I missed all of the rules, but I really had a lot of fun. Fight Club was awesome. I'm going to tell everybody about Fight Club. I think it was great. You should go too. Fight Club. So I just tried to start a fire with this piston system I got for Christmas. It's pretty neat. It uses air pressure to create a spark, but I still need to learn a little bit. I had some trouble, so I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. Flint and steel and some char cloth. If you haven't seen someone do this before, this is a piece of char cloth. It's carbon converted from cotton at some point. This is a piece of flint, a steel striker. So I'm just going to catch it that way. There we go. So I've got my little spark. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Yep, see those little embers? I'm going to put that in something like this to get it going, and then I'm going to add that to the fire. See what you're seeing there. There we go. There's our fire started. Do you want to see what I got for Christmas? Too bad. I'm going to anyway. This thing across the top of my hammock here is my tarp. What that is in right now are snake skins, or there's a lot of different words for them, tarp skins. Essentially, I can pull that back and my whole tarp will fall out easy, so I can have my tarp ready to go and get it out quick. I'll show you. So a quick update before it gets a little too dark to film. I have my AMOC set up. I've got a nice little porch mode, but if I have to, I can drop the front end down if the rain gets to be too much tonight. I'm getting ready to cook dinner. I'm having quesadillas, so I'm going to make those in a cast iron pan with some chicken, cheese, sour cream, maybe some barbecue sauce. I don't know yet. After that, I'm going to get packed up, put on my underlayers because it's going to get down to about 37 tonight. I want to be nice and warm. It should be just enough that I don't have to worry about water freezing, so I'm not going to try to prep any water to keep warm for tonight. And I have my tarp over here. I've pitched. This is about a 12-foot tarp. I'll be able to sit under there tomorrow if there's not room for me in mine, or I'll be able to move some of my gear under there to make sure it stays dry during the rain. It's kind of an old tarp. I set it up just to see what would happen. Other than that, I'm going to start dinner now, and thanks for coming along with me. You know, while my food is cooking, it is New Year's Eve, and more for my sake than yours. I'm going to spend the evening thinking about all of the good things of 2020 and everything that's gone well in the year. There's so much bad stuff going on right now with COVID. We've seen a historical election. We have seen the worst and best of people. People have been selfish and individualistic during a time of crisis, but we have also seen people with love and altruism doing their best to help others. And we've even had people who have lost their lives fighting this virus, doctors and nurses and caretakers. So I'd rather focus on the positive. This year in 2020, my wife got a job that she absolutely loves. She was furloughed and then lost that job, but there's hope that she may get it back once the COVID vaccine comes out and things go back to normal. So I'm going to consider that a bonus. We have, she has gotten accepted into a horticulture program. I have gotten my CPRP, so Certified Parks and Recreation Professional Certification. That was kind of a big deal. I got certified as a wildlife firefighter or wildlands firefighter. It's been my first full year living across the country in another state from where I was born and raised, with a career that I love. And throughout everything that's happened, I've had a job and I've had steady work. So I'm very grateful for that. My wife and I added a new dog to the family, Marlowe. He is a Pomeranian Chihuahua mix, mostly Pomeranian, but we could not have asked for a better dog to add to our family. I've been fortunate enough to have a great Christmas and some great holidays with my wife. I've tried new foods. I have managed to stay in contact with the friends that matter. I've been able to go camping numerous times, more times than most people get to go all year. I've done in just the fall alone. So I'm very grateful for that. I mean, I'm out here camping right now. So grateful for all of you. And I'm grateful I started making these videos. I don't get a lot of follows, but that's not why I do it. I used to have a lot of self-conscious or self-doubt, a lot of personal insecurities essentially when I was 320 pounds. And now that I've lost that weight, I feel better. I'm going to try to lose more in the next year. I've gained a little bit back during COVID and being stuck at home, but that's to be expected. But I'm very grateful for that because it's made me less insecure whenever I'm making videos. That's why I'm doing these. It's gotten me over my insecurities. I realize I'm the only one who actually cares what I look like. I don't have to be this tough, perfect person all of the time. I'm the only one who notices that. Everyone else sees me constantly. I'm the only one who is seeing me and hearing me for the first time on video. So I've learned to live with that and to enjoy it instead. I hope that you'll have done the same this evening or on Christmas Eve, whenever you see this video, and thought about all of the good things. You know, we can get stuck with the bad things too often in our heads. The news, the media, they don't make money by telling you everything is okay. They make money by making you afraid and hooking you in. So there are good things out there, and I hope they are for you too. Ooh, I also purchased a piano. I've been learning. My first piano teacher did not work out well, but I'm going to try and find a new piano teacher this year, and I have been enjoying it so far, but I think having a structure would be better for me than just trying to play on my own. And I've considered live streaming piano and just being taught by the collective, so that may be kind of a social experiment or project that I attempt for 2021. We will see. I'm going to sit by this fire and listen to the now apparently beautiful sounds of sirens. No matter how far you go from civilization, there'll be someone there to ruin it. So it's just part of life. Hopefully they are responding to something minor. So anyway, I'm going to flip my quesadilla. It's almost ready. I hope you have a good evening, and I love you.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand of thine. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne.
Good morning. I have my coffee going. That should be ready here soon. Of course, when you stare at it, it takes longer. I think I'm going to be going home today rather than tomorrow. It is supposed to thunderstorm tonight. That's just how it goes. It's a good thing that I burned all of the firewood that I brought, and which I wouldn't leave it anyway. But there is also an abundance of it here because this park suffered from the same ice storm damage that my park did. So it just busted a ton of limbs out of the trees, and all of that is stacked now in neat brush piles. And the ladies up front told me I could harvest and burn as much of that as I wanted. So that's good to know for next time. By summer, that'll be gone from people camping, but this time of year, I don't think they get a lot of folks. But this place is gorgeous. I've seen several bird species, at least 3 that I could not identify, so that's exciting for me. and I will show you around in just a moment some of the cool features right after I pour my coffee. Welcome to Cooking with Julia Child, except instead of Julia Child, it's hotter. Ow. I'm going to show you how to make my breakfast. It's kind of a neat thing you can try. So Ziploc freezer bag. That's important that you get the freezer bags. I'm going to stick that straight into my pot. I got this Just Crackin' Egg by Ore-Ida. And there's some other versions like Jimmy Dean sausage. This comes with prepackaged stuff that you are supposed to crack an egg in here and microwave with this, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to cook it a different way in boiling water. So I've put my bag in the pot, and then I'm going to add my potatoes. And those have some peppers and onions in there as well. I'm trying to stick this all in the garbage bag as I go so I don't make too much of a mess. All that sausage, that's the sexy part of the show because sausage is a entendre, you get it? Double entendre. And I'm going to go ahead and add the cheese too. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. Open the packet of cheese. Now, in all honesty, you could make these from home and not buy the pre-made kit. I just kind of tend to backpack spontaneously, so I don't always have all of these ingredients already at home, ready to go, or that's honestly what I would do whenever I have the chance. But instead of one egg, I usually do 2 or 3. Yes, indeedy. Do 3 today. And then all you have to do to cook this is get all of the air out of the bag. That's very important. Get all of the air out of the bag. Seal it up nice and tight with the air out of the bag. Just like that. Give it a mix. So make sure everything's distributed well. Still got a yolk not popped. Once you've got it nice and mixed, get all of your ingredients in there, stick it back in the bag. Now there's plenty of room to add water, so I'm going to add water straight to the pot, not all the way to the top, a decent amount. I'm going to fold the rest of the bag inside. Now that's why it's important. It's a freezer bag, that's so the bag does not melt too much. While the bag is in water like this and the water is hot, it's not going to melt. So I'm going to start our stove again. And you can do this over an open fire too, as long as you're careful with the bag not burning. I'll often do this on the Coleman stove that I have. You just want to make sure you don't accidentally overboil the water. But essentially, just let that boil. It will heat up and cook the contents inside, just like I'm sure you've seen people who make eggs in a Ziploc bag at home. I think that's a little unnecessary, but in this case it's fantastic. So that was Cooking with Not Julia Child. Hope you found it sexy. I'm back. Did you miss me? If you did, that's kind of weird. It's been like a minute for me and literally half a second for you at most. So maybe don't be so clingy. Anyway, here's one of the cool spots so you can rappel and climb off of these cliffs like the one that you can see behind me. Right here, the cliff by my campsite. If you look, you will see all of these little divots, and those are for climbing. So people can climb up those. I do not know if those are man-made recently or in the past by American Indians or pioneers. I genuinely don't know, but it's still kind of neat to know if you're a rock climber, you can do that. There are several spots here and trails that you can only access by starting a climb like this. So I am definitely not in the shape to do that. And I left my jetpack at home. I brought my jet shoes, but I ran out of propane. I needed it for the breakfast. So what can you do? On the other side, there are these great little cliffs. I don't want to get too far away from my cooking, but on these cliffs, if you look at those black lines, So the black lines here and here. Near the top of those, there are actually little divots in the rock. See if I can show you those. Maybe you can see them about right where my finger is whenever I move my finger. But those guys are created by all of the ropes, so you can rappel there, and the rope over time creates these grooves in the sandstone and wears out the sandstone. So really cool concept, and while I'm not the biggest fan of people carving their names into the rocks and creating those things, I'd much prefer to preserve it with the leave no trace principles. I think it's interesting to see the history of humans and how they interact with nature, and at the end of the day, long term, these rocks won't be here forever anyway. And if it lets people come and enjoy them, learn about them, and be outside, I think it's a okay trade-off. So I'm going to check my breakfast and listen to the wind a little bit more. Hope you're having a good morning wherever you are, except for you, Craig. And we'll see what happens. I think my wife is going to pick me up about 10 o'clock today. I left her the car, so if she had anything that she needed to do, she could. She felt kind of bad leaving me here, said she felt like she was abandoning me. But I am fine, of course. So, yeah, we'll see you around. Real quick, here is a cool gift I got for Christmas as a stocking stuffer. This is Colgan's brand. It is a ridgeline that goes around a couple of trees, has these good clips to make it easy. You don't have to tie any knots. And basically you can hang stuff from these. I have my camping pillow I got from Christmas on here. It's a neck pillow that inflates. Really cool, just hanging on the line. I've got my bear mace. I can hang my glasses on here. Anything else, and this is like $8 to $10 at Walmart. Highly recommend it. I'm not going to show you too much Christmas stuff. I tend not to live in the past like that. I am over Christmas, but I did want to share something cool with you. I'm a big fan of you get what you pay for. I think it's far better to save your money and wait and buy something a little better. And I'm going to show you an example of that now. I know you can't always afford to. I can't either. But to give you an example, this is an Ozark Trails saw, folding saw. You get these at Walmart for $10, $9.88, something like that. And I'm going to compare it today to this. This is a Silky Gomboy 240 millimeter large tooth saw that folds. It has a silicone grip. It's more comfortable. It bites into the wood better. I'm going to show you the difference in just how quicker and easy. Now this one is about $50 to $60 depending on where you get it. It's a Japanese blade. It's very, very durable. And it cuts so much better, and I'm going to show you the difference. Now this one is longer, and so I'm not going to use the entire blade just to make it fair, so you don't think the only reason this is so much quicker is because of the blade length. Yep, I'm going to show you that now. This is the Ozark Trails saw. I'm going to try to cut through this wood, brace it a little better. I'm using the entire blade. And I'm actually putting a lot of force. Into this blade to try to get it to bite into the wood. Tell you what, if you're using this to cut firewood to stay warm, cutting the firewood would keep you warmer than the fire. So that's how long that took. Now let's use the Silky, and if you'll notice I don't even have that handle to be able to brace this, so you would think it would be more difficult, but I'm not even putting pressure on this blade. So that's the difference. You can imagine if you needed to cut a lot of wood fast for a fire, this is the one you want in your pack. It is worth its weight. You would easily pay someone $40 to cut all of your wood if this is the saw that you had to work with. Even if this wood is wet, the inside here is dry, so we would split this and it'd make good firewood. So consider saving up and buying the better things as you can, rather than buying the cheap things and then buying the better things too. That's more expensive. Kingfisher just flew by. Anyway, I am hiding under this cliff face right here. I've gotten a break in the rain long enough to go to the bathhouse and have my morning constitutional. Who doesn't love that? And it's odd I haven't had coffee yet. So maybe I'll do a clickbaity thumbnail called Poop Before Coffee? I don't know. It's funny to me. I might start doing those. Please don't think I'm being that cringy YouTuber. I'm genuinely doing them because I like to kid around and it's funny to me. I'm immature, if you have not figured that out already. Ooh, the old Superman S. I did that in grade school. Anyway, do me a favor though, if you did like the video, consider leaving a like and a follow. I'll never be that YouTuber who's like, yo, what's up? It's your boy coming at you live with another video. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and punch that like button like your mother owes you money. I don't understand how people do that. That's weird to me, but it does help me out. So consider doing that. That's how I make these videos. I have ADHD, so downtime in camp is hard for me to deal with because I tend to want to bounce and move a lot, and that would tire me out. And making videos lets me think about my trip, lets me plan some better activities, and kind of helps keep me centered and focused. So it lets me think a little more, and hopefully you get something out of them too. And it lets me visit beautiful places like this. So Red Rock Canyon, I'll give you another look around. This is the rappelling area. If you look up, actually right, let's see, yeah, right there. You can see these little grooves in the mountain. Those are where the rappellers ropes tend to dig in a little bit. You can also see an incredible amount of graffiti, which is a shame, but what can you do? Anyway, I hope you enjoy these. I enjoy making them, and they give me more motivation to come out. Sometimes my anxiety gets the better of me and tells me maybe I shouldn't go, maybe I'll have a bad time, but at the end of the day, I know if I don't go, I'll sit at home and wish I had done something cool and regret it. So instead I get to have crazy cool views like this one. I don't know if that looks cool or not to you, but I feel like it would show up on camera. I tried to show you last night, the moonlight was lighting up the entire cliff walls in this little dead-end cliff area that I'm in, and it just did not come across on camera. So sorry I can't share everything with you, but maybe one day we're gonna go camping together. One last thing, if you do have any questions about anything, please leave them in the comments or send me a message. I'm happy to answer questions. If you want advice about camping, I'm not an expert by any means, but I do it a lot, so I'm happy to tell you what I know. I know that wind is going to be awful. That's just how it goes. But I'm happy to answer questions if you have them. I'm happy to include something in a video if it's something that you want to learn, or maybe you've seen something like a piece of gear of mine that you don't know what it's for. Happy to answer what I can, and just let me know what you like about the video, what you don't. Maybe I talk too much. I'm not going to stop doing that. I like to talk. But maybe it's just something you want to see more of. Maybe you want more music, or you want more relaxation, or maybe you want that pretty redhead I'm married to be in the videos. I might be able to talk her into another one here soon, who knows. But anyway, I love you. I hope you have a good day, and Happy New Year's. Fresh start, new year, new you, all of that jazz. And we will see you next time. So we're here at the dead end of the canyon, kind of the bowl, right at the end of the campsite. My campsite is just over there, and here's a marker at the end called, it says California 1849 Wagon Road, and there is a trail up here with a cliff you can climb, and I'm going to show you just how tall this is, because the camera does not do it justice. It's a lot bigger than it looks. I'm going to try not to drop you. The last thing I need is for you to sue me. So, let me show you real quick. So the other thing I want to convey about this is because we're in the end of a canyon, the noise and sound waves just reverberate gorgeous. So I don't normally sing on camera, I'm a little shy, but today I'd like to sing you one of my favorite songs just so you can hear how beautiful the acoustics are here. Oh, 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 O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Bow. You're welcome. You're welcome. You have my permission to make that a ringtone. You just cannot put it on Apple Music or Spotify without my consent. I don't want to be famous. What are you doing in Hell's Canyon? We're the toughest son of a bitches around. Stay off our turf. You're gonna regret it. I finished most of my podcast on moss last night. I was listening to in the previous video on the Christmas trip. I didn't get to finish all of it because I was tired, but it turns out moss is fascinating and it has all of these little, it's basically its own micro world. And I was looking on these rock formations and there's a ton of it here. So I just want to show you, maybe you'll appreciate this, maybe you won't. But there's all different types of moss. I'm gonna try to get the camera to work. So different leaf structures, if you look, the lady was basically explaining, the expert, that there's no such thing as moss as much as moss is. So where you find one, you'll find many. They can survive being completely dried out. And very few things in the world can actually eat them at all. And when things are eating on them, they aren't eating them, they are eating the algae that grows on the moss. So, learn something new every day, and the world around you is beautiful. When you go camping, take time to appreciate those little things because there's more going on than you can ever imagine, and it never ceases to amaze me just how much you can see. I mean, look on this cliff alone. Look how many of these trees are just literally growing in the crags of this and surviving. So this has managed, a seed has managed to land here in this little crag of the rock and grow and survive. This one's getting quite tall, all from this little root that's digging in. Nature is beautiful. Go out and explore it. It breaks my heart when I see people that'll do a mile-long nature hike and say, I didn't see any nature. You didn't look. You didn't look. Take the earphones out, put down your phone, and look. There's just so much. So much to learn and explore. I mean, man, I'm gonna look at this moss some more and kind of watch and see what I can't find until the wife gets here. Here comes Michelle, my belle. I don't know French, something play bien ensemble, play bien ensemble. I love you, I love you, I love you. I think your red hair is great. I'm really glad that I asked you out on that date. It occurred to me that I have probably said goodbye at the end of several video clips this afternoon, thinking it was going to be my last one, and it isn't. It's kind of like that awkward thing where someone says goodbye, and then you say goodbye to someone, and then they're not actually leaving, so now it's awkward. You have to wait a few more minutes, and then they leave, and then do you actually say goodbye again, or do you just leave it, and then you say goodbye, but you both laugh because you know it's awkward? That's kind of how it feels right now. But I think this will be the last time, so goodbye. Bye.